Welcome back to episode 10 of me getting my M Coupe ready for the wrap. So for this episode, I'm gonna start on my passenger side front fender. This is pretty much ready to start block sanding. This is the self-etching primer and filler primer. So once I've done sanding this from, I believe, 400 to 600 to 1000, I can put on the automotive primer. This should be good to go. All right. I just finished spraying the passenger front fender with automotive primer. Now it's time to let this sit and wait before I sand it again. So let's move on to the front bumper. All right, moving on to the front bumper. This right here, this black patch over here is the repair part that we did that filled in the crack. And so now I need to trim off the excess mesh along with sanding it, then putting on primer, then letting it dry, then sanding it again. Then this front bumper should be good to go. All right, I think I'm finished sanding this little portion over here. I went from 400 to 320, and then I went back to 400, then 600, then to 1000. And as you can tell, this looks blended very well. By the touch of the hand, it is extremely smooth. Now, although there are little like indentations inside the area that we repaired, I'm not too sure how far I can sand. I'm not sure whether if I were to sand past all the way down to the areas to make it completely smooth, I'm not too sure if that's gonna be too far or not. So by avoiding that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to fill it up with primer and then afterwards sand it so that it'll be completely even. The unlevelness of the surface isn't too bad, so I'm not really too concerned that it's not gonna be like, you know, a considerable layer amount of primer. So that being said, time to wipe this dry, clean it up, and then we can get spraying. Ugh. All right, just like that, the front bumper has been repaired. I think I fixed all the cracks on it along with a few other minor issues. So with that being said, time to let this dry. I'm gonna clap my hands now, and once I clap my hands, it's gonna fast forward to a couple days. A couple days have passed, and well, something really exciting came into the mail. Let me go ahead and get it. Ooh, this is my new fender for my driver's side over here, which goes like that. I did see a little bit of surface rust, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna knock all this paint off all the way to the bare metal, or at least the spots that has surface rust, and then put on self-etching primer, filler primer, wait a few days, and then hit it again with 600 grit to 1000 grit, and then hit it with automotive primer, then 600 to 1000 again. Then this one should be done. So with that being said, my friend Harmon should be arriving shortly. So doing all right. Okay, we just put on the new front fender for the driver's side to just test fit to see how the fitment is. And well, it's kind of clear that the fitment from the front fender to the hood over here is kind of slightly off. And as for the bottom corner over here for the door, it's also off. So it's a good thing that we decided to test fit it before actually knocking it down. And before we actually knock it down, we're going to massage it to actually get it to the right, the right form before we add on primer and stuff. So yeah. Move forward. Now we're going to heat it up and pull it to see if we can get it back into place. I'm going to take off the side skirts. Thankfully for the side skirts, we already did remove 2 out of the 3 exposed bolts over here once you take off the front fender. So now what I need to do is I need to take off the door silhouette thing. Let me show you guys what I mean. This is the part that I need to take off to get access to the 2 bolts over here, and then there should be one behind the wheel well in the rear. It'd be funny as how this was just a like pop-in screw. And you see me just spinning. Wow, it was. Oh. All right, I finally took off the side skirts. Harmon is in the back working on the front bumper. Now I'm going to show you guys what the rust spot I was concerned about on the side skirt was. So as you can see, this is the side skirt, and this right here is going to be the spot that I was more concerned about because I see surface rust on here. As you can see, this is what I'm gonna start sanding off and clear this off so I can put self-etching primer. I think I'm probably gonna do the whole entire thing. Aside from the rust over here, there's a dent right over here that I need to pull out. So I'm gonna heat it up, knock it out with a rubber mallet, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, I tried to do this to the best of my ability, so now it's time to sand off all the rust. Alright, so I just finished sanding the side skirts, and as you can see, the rust over here, the surface rust over here is now gone. That being said, all I gotta do now is scuff up the painted areas along with smoothing the bottom part, which from factory, it comes like as if it's like a shit ton of orange peel. I don't really like that, so I'm gonna smooth it down a little bit more, and then I shall get to self-etching primering. Also, the front bumper, Carmen helped me out huge with, helping me block sand the area, or not block sand, but just hand sand the area after I sprayed the primer. This bumper is pretty much good to go, and now this is going to go into the storage somewhere, or this front bumper is going to be put away somewhere. Alright, the side skirts are done being sprayed with self-etching and filler primer. All I gotta do now is wait for this to dry so I can sand it again with 600 to 1000 and then add on the regular automotive primer. Afterwards, this side skirt can be put again to the storage where the front bumper is. Now, let's move on to the front fender. Alright, so the front fenders are pretty much good to go. What I did was I realized when I sanded there were some parts that went a little too far, so I decided to add on automotive primer to it. And then afterwards, I'm just going to sand this from 1000 to 1500. This should be good to go and put to storage, so I can wrap everything all at once while everything is still off the car. So with that being said, I am going to call this an episode. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Deuces.
Baby, you give me midnight.